everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on the film Big Daddy. Now, as you know, Big Daddy is a 1999 comedy film that was directed by Dennis Dugan, as well as featuring the iconic has-been star Adam Sandler. And the premise of the film is meant to take place in New York City, where we are featured with Sonny Kovacs, who is this kind of 32-year-old slacker who refuses to take any responsibility and not really taking the bar exam, as well as working a more dead-end job, having a kind of money from a sort of minor accident. And you can kind of tell Sonny doesn't really want to take responsibilities, and you can kind of tell his girlfriend Vanessa is annoyed with him for not being mature, and you can kind of tell Sonny's dad is a bit more annoyed with him for not being responsible. Until we find out one day that Sonny wakes up to find a boy named Julian has been left at him and his roommate Kevin's apartment, and we kind of see how Kevin finds out that he's the biological father, but because of being in China, he has to kind of do his business. So we kind of see how Sonny is kind of left in the care with Julian. And I think the movie has a simple premise about taking responsibility, about making the effort, and about trying to make yourself better by having someone important in your life. And I think the point with Sonny and Julian is, at first, Sonny does become a bit of a bad influence, but over time learns to become a better person and learns to kind of be the responsible one to help Julian become more responsible. And yeah, in a typical fashion, it kind of shows how Sonny's whether lies get revealed and kind of gets him into deeper crap than he's in. And I think for the most part, I would say Sonny's character does work, as he's kind of meant to be us who's, in a bad place, and over time we learn to kind of take on responsibility, start being mature, and start kind of being more motivated. And I think over time we do see how Sonny learns to become a better person. We see him having a more better girlfriend, Leah, who does kind of become more Sonny's friend and helps him kind of become a better person. The same with Julian. And I think for the most part, I would say, is when you've got Sonny's father calling him out for only caring about himself, I don't think he cares about himself. I think he just doesn't really want to take any responsibility and refuses to take any real actions until he starts to learn to becoming maturer. And I think you can kind of tell Kevin's fiancée Connie is justifiably annoyed with Sonny's childish behaviour. And I think you can tell deep down she does care about him, but is just annoyed with his childish, and if not, immature behaviour. And I think for the most part, I would say Big Daddy is an enjoyable movie. If you were that guy, if you were that kid who watched the film when your parents bought a DVD player with some B-budgeted or crappy movies, then this was the movie you watched. And I think for the most part, I would say that this film is definitely one of Adam Sandler's okayish films. I think the premise is there, so I think it definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.